She left a note on the kitchen counter, slanted, rushed, scribbled in her usual hurried, thoughtless handwriting. Asterisk gone to show with my ex. We want catch-up. Asterisk that was all it said. No apology. No explanation. Just a casual sentence tossed like a dirty dish into the sink of my heart. And with that, she was gone, leaving behind more than silence. She left responsibility. She left her grandmother. She left me with the scent of cinnamon still floating in the air, like the echo of a Thanksgiving no one celebrated. No turkey, no laughter, no warmth. Only her grandmother remained, unmoving in the recliner, her chest gently rising and falling in slow rhythm. I stood at the threshold of the room, overnight bag in one hand, keys in the other, still not quite understanding the shift in gravity. Then the old woman opened her eyes, not with confusion or fatigue, but with steady, intentional clarity. "Shall we begin?" she asked. I nodded. Her voice was calm, but something sharp shimmered behind her gaze. Not suspicion, wisdom. A gaze that had seen too much and still chosen silence. She hadn't been dozing. She'd been observing, waiting. And now she knew. I felt no anger. Just the cold, clean slide of a mechanism falling into place. This wasn't abandonment. This was an opening. A door she had unwittingly left ajar. We met 5 years earlier in a little bookstore that smelled like rain and old paper. It felt poetic at the time. Now it feels scripted, even laughably staged. She wore sarcasm like silk, gliding effortlessly between charm and cynicism. Her kiss had always been a dare. I was a recovering idealist then, always looking for meaning in broken things. We matched like flame and gasoline, dangerously. Her chaos softened by my patience, her noise filling the cracks in my quiet. "You're so calm," she used to say, almost in awe. I never told her that calmness isn't peace, it's restraint. It's the learned art of not reacting when you've already predicted the end. The first year with her wasn't a whirlwind romance. It was a slow fire, one that smoldered unseen beneath the surface, waiting to crack through. By the second year, the fractures showed. Her story shifted. Dinners became vague meetings, her phone stayed face down, and her laughter came from jokes I wasn't part of. I told myself I was imagining things. That trust meant letting go. But there's a difference between trust and neglect. It was a Tuesday when everything changed. She was in the shower. I hadn't planned to check her phone, but something about her smile that day, it wasn't real. It cracked something open in me. The texts weren't outright romantic. But they oozed with intimacy, with memories that should have died years ago. Asterisk, remember that concert? We were wild, weren't we? Sometimes I wonder, asterisk. I didn't confront her. I didn't scream. Instead, I quietly began to prepare. First, I documented everything. I separated our finances, changed my passwords, met with a lawyer. Slowly, surgically, I built a private wall between us, one she didn't even notice, or didn't care to. Her grandmother had been showing early signs of cognitive decline. Just small things, forgetfulness, hesitation. I offered to help. Took her to appointments, managed her meds. I became the picture-perfect son-in-law. I kept every note, every conversation, every decision filed and signed. All neat. All dated. All legal. When I suggested we bring her grandmother into our home for full-time care, she actually laughed. "You'd really do all that?" "I take my vows seriously," I said. She smiled. But it never reached her eyes. By the time Thanksgiving arrived, I knew exactly where she was and with whom. I didn't stop her. I let her go. She thought she was free. But I had stayed. And in staying, I had gathered everything. Her grandmother never asked where she was. Maybe she already knew. We played chess in the evenings. She beat me twice. On the third night, she looked up from the board and said, "She thinks I'm gone. Completely gone. But I've been watching. She's not subtle." I said nothing. "She's always been selfish," she continued. "I told her once, one day she'd fall in love with someone quiet. Someone who sees through her noise. And when she betrays him, it won't go like it did before." We never brought it up again. On the fourth day, my wife came back. She walked in like she still lived there, tossed a casual "hey" into the air like it was worth something. "Sorry, lost track of time." I stepped out of the kitchen. Her grandmother stood beside me. No cane. No confusion. Just presence. The silence that fell over us was surgical, cold, precise, cutting. I handed her a folder. "These are the caregiving records. Everything is signed and notarized. Full medical logs, financial breakdowns. Proof of neglect." Her smile faltered. "What is this?" "You abandoned your dependent," I said, voice even. "That's elder neglect. At best, you lose your inheritance. At worst, it's a criminal charge. Her eyes snapped to her grandmother, who stared back with an expression between pity and dry amusement. I stepped closer. And just so you know, your ex? He's being served. His wife hired a private investigator. Turns out he wasn't as discreet as you thought. You set this up, she whispered. No, I replied. You did. I just watched. She tried calling later, left me a voicemail soaked in regret and self-pity, talking about misunderstandings, second chances. I didn't finish listening. I filed for divorce the next morning. Her grandmother moved in with her niece. I made sure everything she needed was arranged. When I visited her for the last time, she poured us tea with hands that didn't tremble. There's peace in knowing you weren't cruel, she said. Just thorough. I nodded. Love, I replied, isn't about holding on. It's about knowing when someone already let go. I didn't lose her. I watched her lose herself. Justice doesn't need to shout. It waits. It watches. And when the moment is right, it moves, quiet, clean, and final.